and I will be teaching you contextual guessing in English. Okay. So can someone tell me what we
Okay. Good
learned
afternoon, ma'am.
in yesterday's class? What did we learn in yesterday's class?
Good
We want to
afternoon.
develop from that.
Ma'am, skimming and scan skills.
Scanning.
Yes, very good. When do we
Scanning.
skim and when do we scan? Can you tell me that in the chat box? When do we skim and when do we scan?
मैम आवाज
Purpose
नहीं
क्या
आ
है?
रही.
Skimming and scanning.
Skim like
Okay.
sarasari
Okay.
and
Sir,
scan like शोध लावणे.
Okay. Very good. So you scan for specific information and you skim for the mukhya idea, right? So that is what we did in last class. So today's class is very important. I'll be sharing the PDF with you. For those who can't understand the language, please try to read the translation I've included in this slide. Okay. Yes. So today's class is important because I'm going to teach you how to guess according to the context. So context matlab kya hai? Sandarbh, right? So you might not know all the words, but according to the situation or the sandarbh, that is the context, I will teach you some tricks for you to guess those words to make meaning of the passages or questions. Okay. So for that, we'll start with the game. Okay, I have given you 2 sentences. So in the first sentence, if you read, the desert camel is
मैम इस क्लास की रिकॉर्डिंग कब तक मिलेगी?
you'll get the recording later. You can't see the second slide, right?
ओके.
मैम स्क्रीन में दिख रहा है.
Yes. So I've given you 2 sentences. Okay, look at the first sentence. In the first sentence, is a complete meal.
मैम स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही है.
It is visible now, right? I think it's working now. I'll just zoom in. Okay, so look at the first sentence. In the first sentence, I have replaced a word with X. Your task is to find the word for X. So, X का position में क्या word है? Okay, so what does the sentence say? The desert camel is so X that it can survive for days without drinking a single drop of water. Okay. So camel बिना पानी के कोई दिन रह सकता है. This is the अर्थ. So what does that mean? The camel. What does that say about the camel? X is an adjective. It says something about the camel. Can you guess the word for X? Din Raat. The camel is so, you can say the camel is so strong that it can survive, right? Or you can also add a synonym for strong. You can say the camel is very resilient. Yes. Okay. Okay, now let's look at the second sentence. Unlike the loud, chaotic markets, the research lab was completely X and peaceful. Okay. Now, okay, the answer was strong or resilient. So how did you learn that? I'll come to that. So X mein, you don't know what the word was, but surrounding context, you try to understand and then you guess the meaning of the word. We'll do the second one. Okay, someone said silent. Very good. Okay, I'll ask you a simple question. Yesterday, this unlike is a word that we studied in yesterday's class. Okay, that shows contrast, right? So how did you guess this word? How did you rightly guess slowly? Because when you use the word unlike, then it is a contrast. So in the first part of the sentence, ka ulta will be the second part. So loud or chaotic ka opposite would be the word for X. That is how you said silent or calm. Right? Yes. So that is how we rightly guess the sentences. So I'll give you a framework. Okay. So there are 4 strategies you can use. First one is illustration or examples. This is also something that we have learned in yesterday's class. So if I'm saying certain insects show bioluminescence like fireflies and something else. Okay. I use the phrase such as. So such as matlab kya hai? Such as, like, and for instance, these words are used when I'm giving more examples. So even if you don't know bioluminescence, okay, this is something we learned in yesterday's class, right? We didn't know the meaning of the word bioluminescence, but we look at the words that come after that. Okay, what is a category that it comes inside? It emits light. So from that, you understand the meaning of the word bioluminescence. Okay, this you will understand when we deal with the examples later. Okay, now we have definition. Okay, or a positive. That means that, so if I'm saying Sharanya, my best friend, studies with me. Okay, so Sharanya and comma, my best friend, comma. So my best friend here is the appositive. That means that this is the phrase that adds information to the first noun. First noun kya hai? Sharanya. So Sharanya is my best friend. So sometimes in passages, word meaning will be contained inside these either dashes or comma ke andar or parenthesis, that is bracket mein andar, wo word ka definition will be included. I'll show you the examples. Okay, you'll understand that. Then we have contrast or antonyms. Okay, that is something we've already learned. Okay, in the previous example, what was a contrast word? Either second sentence mein contrast word kya hai? Unlike the loud and chaotic, opposite is calm and peace. So contrast word kya hai second sentence mein? Unlike is the silent is the answer, but unlike is the contrast word, right? So despite heavy rainfall, the crops survive. That's an example I gave last class also. So very good. So what does it mean? It rained heavily, yet the crops survived. Okay. Next is antonym or substitution. That is also very easy. So for your exams, you'll have 4 options. Even if you don't know the Sahi Uttar, what you should do is you replace. You have to substitute one option in the question and you see, does it make sense? Okay. I think you're finding it difficult now. We'll understand it when we do these examples. Okay. Please read the Hindi translation as well. I've included translations from this slide. Yes. So first is the example ka strategy. That is when you use words like such as, instance, like, including. You are giving more examples. So ye phrases ke piche, there will be a difficult word. Even if you don't understand, identify the category of the words that come afterwards. So, okay, look at the sentence. The zoo had many herbivores such as rabbits, deer, and elephants. So, such as ke baad rabbits, deer, or elephants hai. Ye sab khas khane wale janwar hai. That is the meaning of herbivore. That is grass-eating animal or shakahari. Yes. Do you understand how this works? We'll try doing the second question. Okay. Tropical rainforests are ideal habitats for arboreal mammals like spider monkeys, tree-dwelling sloths, and flying squirrels that rarely ever touch the forest floor. Okay, so how do you understand the meaning of this word? This word in bold, you can't understand the meaning, right? So what will you do? I have the translation for this. Okay, so tropical forest. So look at this question. Okay, the task is that in this, there is a difficult word that I've given in bold letters. You can't understand the meaning of this, right? But you can still you can still guess the meaning because, okay, so yaha there is a phrase that is like. Okay, like is a hint word here. Like matlab jaise ki. So jaise ki उपयोग हुआ है. So logic ये है, all these animals के साथ और there is this phrase called tree dwelling, that is पेड़े पर रहने वाला, और rarely ever touch the forest, that is जी जो जमीन को लगभग कभी नहीं छूते. So जो जीव अपना पूरा जीवन पेड़े पर बिताते हैं और जमीन पर नहीं आते, उन्हें आर्बोरियल कहा जाता है. इसका अर्थ हुआ लिविंग इन ट्रीज, और पेड़ों पर रहने वाला जीव. Okay, please don't worry if you don't understand. I will be giving you the translation of this after class, so you'll understand. Okay, so let's do an easy question now. He ate several citrus fruits such as orange, lemon, and grapefruit. Do you know the meaning of citrus? Citrus का मतलब, do you know? Citrus का मतलब क्या है? It's difficult. You don't know. But there is a hint. Either is such as. So when I'm giving such as, and you have fruits like oranges, lemon, and grapefruits, then what is the meaning? Let me make it simple for you. Orange, lemon, or grape. Okay. What is the similarity? Similarity is that it is. I'm sorry. So citrus matlab khatta. Okay. So you look at the fruits. You look at what is the similarity between them, and then you guess the meaning of the word you don't know. Don't worry about this. I will send the PDF. You have translation of each and everything in this slide. So you'll be able to understand it better. Okay. Please don't worry about it. Just listen to it now. Okay. So next is for D, we have definition or opposite. There's already something that we have learned, that is dashes, commas, or parentheses. So look at this first sentence. The biosphere, the thin layer of earth where all life exists, is under threat. Either biosphere क्या है? Imagine you don't know biosphere. Okay, but ये biosphere का meaning ये dashes के अंदर है. Okay, so you read that and then you try to understand. Same for the second sentence, osmosis, that is the movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane. So osmosis, even if you don't know, the meaning is inside the commas that come afterwards. Okay, and then we have parenthesis. Okay, that is inside the bracket. So if I'm saying the maths, which was supposed to be held today, is postponed. So the maths, the next part of the statement, I will be giving you inside this brackets. So that is an extra information. Okay. Or sometimes it defines the third sentence. Dekho, the nucleus, the control center of the cell. So if you don't know what nucleus is, they are defining nucleus ka meaning inside the bracket. Okay. And then we have contrast. So contrast matlab kya hai? Pehli baat, jani, pehchani. Then we have hard word. That is, so we have a word. And then if we have contrast words like unlike, whereas, despite, while, then you have the opposite of vivarit meaning in the later part of the sentence. So if I'm saying some students, okay, some students are very diligent. However, others are quite indolent. So either contrast word kya hai? Can you identify contrast word?
Diligent.
नहीं, contrast word क्या है इधर? There is one word meant that ultas the meaning. So वो word क्या है? You have to find the ulta of diligent. That is right. However, right? I've given you inside the bracket C, but, however, unlike, whereas, despite. Yes, however is the word. Okay. So
Diligent.
however is there. हाँ, diligent का उल्टा. Diligent का उल्टा क्या है? That is indolent. So even if you don't know the word, then you can guess the meaning. It is diligent का opposite. That is lazy. Okay. Second sentence देखो. While some chemical reactions are incredibly sluggish, others occurs in a fraction of a second. Okay. So while some chemicals are so what does sluggish mean? We don't know. Sluggish ka meaning we don't know. So, but in the later part of the sentence, either contrast word kya hai? Try to while. Very good. So, wo contrast word is flipping the meaning of the first sentence. So, when occurs or in a fraction of a second, matlab it's very fast. Okay, so fast ka opposite.
Lazy.
Fast का opposite क्या है? Slow. Right? So that is the answer. So similarly in the third sentence, unlike urban areas which are arid and concrete filled, the forest zone is lush with vegetation. Lush ka meaning we don't know. But how do you make sense? Unlike is a contrast word. So concrete matlab urban, concrete and all, that means that it is very dusty. Okay, so वो meaning का उल्टा क्या है? Lush with vegetation means it is full of vegetation.
So, can I have a 1 minute, ma'am?
Yes, please.
So, मुलांनो, मॅम शिकवत आहेत कॉन्ट्रास्ट म्हणजे विरुद्धार्थी शब्द. समजा गुड आहे तर बॅड. ठीक आहे. तर मी तुम्हा सगळ्यांची माईक ऑन करते आहे. मला एक एक जणांनी सांगा की आतापर्यंत आपण जे अपोजिट वर्ड्स बद्दल किंवा लाईकली वर्ड्स बद्दल आपण जे शिकलो. हा, तर मॅम स्लो जाणार. मॅम स्लो मध्ये आहे, पण तुम्हाला जे काही शब्द आपल्या स्क्रीनवर दिसत आहेत किंवा मॅमच्या तोंडातून जे काही निघत आहेत वाक्य, ती वाक्य ऐकायची आहे आणि शेवटीला ते शब्द वापरायची आहेत वाक्यामध्ये. मॅम सोबत बोलत असताना तुम्ही हिंदीमध्ये वापरू नका, प्रयत्न करा इंग्लिश मध्ये वापरण्याचा. आता मी माईक ऑन केलेला आहे. कुणाला प्रश्न असल्यास मला विचारू शकता.
मॅम पण अजून आम्हाला एवढी इंग्लिश येत नाही, त्यामुळे
काय म्हणत आहे?
मला काहीच समजलेच नाही.
आवाज येईना. आणि
Ma'am, this is the not last class of English.
आतापर्यंत गौरी अमोल मोरे मराठी हिंदीमध्ये बोला म्हणत होते, आता टॉक इन इंग्लिश म्हणत आहेत. आणि कोण आहेत ते व्यक्ती म्हणाले की शिवाजी महाराज जय जय असं काही करू नका, रेकॉर्डिंग होत आहे. ठीक आहे.
मॅम मॅम ही जी स्क्रीन दिसते ती ब्लर दिसते खूप.
त्याला तुम्ही झूम करा, मोबाईल मध्ये तुम्ही झूम करा. तुमच्या मोबाईल मध्ये झूम होत आहे. फोटो पाहत असताना आपण जसं झूम करतो झूम करा, ठीक आहे. आणि
ओके मॅम.
प्रत्येक वाक्य वाचून बघा. आपण ऑनलाईन आहोत,
ओके.
तुम्हाला पूर्ण स्क्रीन दिसायला पाहिजे, कारण आम्ही लॅपटॉपचा वापर करत आहोत.
ओके मॅम.
ठीक आहे. आणि हिंदीचा वापर होणार नाही आहे. सगळ्यांनी इंग्लिशच ऐकायचं आहे. ठीक आहे. And you can continue now. And if they have any questions, they will ask, all of them ask question in their chat box. I am looking at the chat box. I'm writing their names and I will message them this evening.
Ma'am,
So, Rina ma'am, please speak slowly and do continue in English only, but speak word by word so that they will catch your line.
ओके
Yes,
मॅम.
ma'am.
You can continue. Ma'am.
Okay, so we are done with the contrast part. Now we have the substitution strategy. Matlab, there will be 4 options. So if you don't know the exact answer, take options you substitute in the question and then you see does it make sense. So हर option को sentence में fit करके देखा, जो सबसे logical लगे और context से match करो, वही answer है. Okay, इस sentence देखो. The scientist's proposal was so audacious that the entire committee was shocked into silence. Okay, so audacious ka meaning we don't know. And there are 4 options. So try to fit here. Does it mean boring? You don't know the meaning. So one options you are trying to fit. Okay. Is it boring? If a class is boring, will you be shocked into silence? No. Okay. If it is careful, will you stay silent? No. If it is short, that is a duration hai, a time hai, so that doesn't affect. So very good. The right answer is B. That is bold, daring, or shocking. So that is a substituted strategy. So I'll share the PDF class ke baad mein. So these are words that will help you for exam. We have the contrast word. So when contrast word is there, like lekin or fir bhi, okay, that is however, but, yet, although, on the other hand, just know that the passage mein the meaning is getting ulta. Okay, meaning is flipping. Okay. Then if you have words like vastav mein, okay, or swasht roop se, spasht roop se, that is when you are giving emphasis. Okay, that is indeed. Okay, in fact, clearly, specifically. So इस word मतलब मुख्य idea में emphasis करते हैं. Okay. Third is not important. Let's leave that for now. Fourth is addition. Okay. Addition मतलब इसके अलावा और इसी प्रकार. If you have words like furthermore, moreover, similarly, in addition, main idea, it is just getting added. Okay. Or idea का same meaning is coming up. Then we have cause effect. Okay. Logic say we have already learned this. Isliye or parinam swarup. Okay. Words like that. Consequently, because, as a resultant. These words. Logic hai. Okay. And then we have, for sequence, we have words like pehle, fir, agla, ant mein. So these are sequence words. When I am giving you a step by step, like when I said water cycle ka process, I explained this in steps. So you can use these words for that. Okay. Now let's try to understand the signal word. First sentence dekho. Photosynthesis is vital for all life. Moreover, it produces the oxygen we breathe. इसमें signal word क्या है? Any word that we learned before? Signal word क्या है? Moreover, very good. So moreover, when do we use moreover? When you are adding idea, right? When you are adding the idea, when you are adding more ideas. Okay, second sentence. What is the signal word? The experiment results were admittedly inconsistent. However, the core hypothesis held true. Okay, very good. However, okay, signal word means, okay, what does signal word mean? This is the signal word ka chart. Okay, I am giving you this because when you spot words like however or indeed or furthermore, each type has different purpose. So if you find these in the sentence, you will know. Okay, is it adding more point? Is it emphasizing the main idea? Okay, or is it contrasting? So second question, देखो, very good. However is the signal word. However मतलब क्या? I am contrasting, right? Yes. So contrast मतलब क्या है? However is लेकिन. तो बाकी का दूसरा हिस्सा पहला हिस्सा का विरोध करता है. ओके, सो मेन आइडिया क्या है, मुख्य विचार क्या है? परिकल्पना, दैट इज हाइपोथेसिस, अभी भी मानी है और वैलिड है. दैट इज द मीनिंग. ओके, थर्ड सेंटेंस देखो. इंडीड the vaccine proved to be 95% effective in clinical trials. Very good. Indeed is the signal word. Okay. So, वास्तव में clinical trials में यह vaccine 95% तक असरदार साबित हुई. Right. So, indeed मतलब what signal word is indeed? You are emphasizing, okay, or you are putting the focus on that same idea. Okay, fourth sentence देखो. Because the soil was depleted of nutrients, the crops failed completely. Very good. Signal word.
Because.
Very good. Why?
Because. Signal word. Because.
Because signal word.
Because.
So when you're giving क्योंकि, what are we given there?
Because
का मतलब कारण. Okay, I am giving the reason. So फसल का बर्बाद. So yeah, so कमजोर मिट्टी फसल का बर्बाद होना. Right? So I am giving you the reason when I am using words like because. Okay, also you can see a cause effect here. Okay. So this is the strategy. So ideally, when you are not supposed to translate it from your mother tongue to understand English passages. But if it's very difficult, look at the words you know the meaning of, try to think of the Hindi meaning, then club it together and guess the rest of the meaning. Okay. Then we also learned trap words. Can you tell me the trap words that we learned? This is what we studied in the second class, WH words or trap words. Trap words kya hai? I told you when there are some words in the questions, you should be careful. Like except, odd one out, only, not, right? Hope you remember. So that is the trap word. So now we have learned something called absolute or moderate words. So this is not that important. I've just included in case. So absolute words matlab when we say always, okay, never, only, completely, all. So that when these words come, you should be a bit careful. Okay. I'll give you an example. And this is what we learned in yesterday's class. I won't go there. Skimming and scanning, when to use it. Okay. First, you have to read the question. Then how should you skim through the passage? How to scan for words. We have learned this. Okay. So this is just a summary. So मुख्य विचार क्या है? पूरा passage का सार एक line में. That is the main idea. Okay. So if you have words like mainly, primarily, best describes, those will have the main idea. Then we have factual detail scope. We have to scan for specific names, right? For places, for numbers, etc. Okay, सीधा fact ढूंढो, सही paragraph में जाओ, exact line read करो. Then
स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही.
मैम स्क्रीन दिख रही है.
Ma'am, so it's me.
Ma'am, screen is visible.
okay.
Ma'am,
For
screen is
because,
not visible.
okay, so when you have words like
Sorry, ma'am.
because, since, due to, and as a result, these are words that give you the current, right? Cause effect relationship hai. So current ढूंढो, because और since के आसपास cause effect chain follow करो. And then for the process, we have sequence words like first, then, finally. So प्रक्रिया और कर्म ढूंढे, numbered steps या signals, sequence signal words follow करो. And then so inference क्या है? अनुमान. We learned this last class. That is something that is not there, but you deduce it. That is, with your understanding, you try to infer that idea. Okay. So now I have given you this passage. Okay. In red, bold words are your signal words. There are some difficult Kadhin words in that is underlined. Okay. So can you tell me what the passage is mainly about? I'll show you the passage. What is the passage mainly about? So should you skim or scan? For the passage ka main idea, should you skim or scan? You should scan. Main idea, right? You don't have to read every word, just the first sentence, maybe the last sentence in between. You just have to skim it. Scanning is for the exact words. So if I'm asking you something specific, then you have to scan for it. Okay, reading in detail. This is skimming. You have to skim. You have to skim for the main idea, okay? Not scan, skim. Okay. So what is the passage mainly about?
मैम आपकी आवाज ब्रेक हो रही.
The secret life of soil.
मैम स्क्रीन नहीं दिख.
Very
मैम
good.
स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही.
The secret style of.
Okay. I will show you the options. This is easy for you. Okay. So the answer is The Secret Life of Soil. Okay. That is an interesting title for it. Okay. So the correct, can you identify the correct answer? Correct option kya hai? First question ka. The answer is B, the complex biological role of soil in sustaining life. So how did you understand? Look at the third sentence. Third sentence mein the signal word indeed hai. So indeed matlab ek idea is getting emphasized. Okay. So there are more chances for that to be the main idea of the passage. Okay. Second might be more easy for you. what does validated mean? Validated word का अर्थ क्या है? Okay, I'll show you the passage again. Validated matlab, can you guess the meaning? So how do you do this? So validated word ka aage, you see the signal word is although. So although many farmers once treated soil with harsh chemicals, recent data has validated the approach of organic farming. So although, sorry, I thought I had the translation for this. Okay, so although is a word that is used for contrasting, right? So initially chemicals were used, but वो sentence का उल्टा क्या है? Now organic farming is being proved right, right? So इस वाक्य में although और but का combination है. पहली बात कहती है कि पहले केमिकल यूज होते थे, लेकिन बाद का टेढ़ा कहता है कि ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग बेहतर है. यानी यह दो अलग अलग बातें में विविध और कॉन्ट्रास्ट है, और अंत में ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग को सही साबित किया गया है. राइट नाउ look at the third question. According to the passage, what is the primary fall in crop yields? So cause, karan is being asked. Okay, karan for crop yield ka failure. So can you tell me the answer?
B. Correct answer.
B.
Depleted soil.
Yes. Depleted soil, emptied of organic matter. Very good. Just two more questions. What can you infer about a farm that never uses organic practice? So inference matlab anuman. It might not be directly there. It's something you infer. Okay. So is sentence mein, okay, look at the 4 options. You have options like words like certainly produce, okay, never, completely. These are absolute words. We learned this before. Absolute or moderate words, we learned this. So whenever there is absolute, so I'll give you an example. I'll give you a simple example. All reproducing animals are mammals. Is this a right statement? Sahi statement hai or nahi? All reproducing animals are mammals. Exceptions hai or is sahi statement hai? All reproducing animals are mammals. Is this a right statement? All reproducing animals are mammals. Nahi, right? There are exceptions. Okay, so when I say all, you have to know that it could be a tricky word. So when you say certainly produce, will never, completely, always be cautious. Either this second option mein word kya hai or moderate word kya hai? It is likely. Okay, there is a possibility. So that is a safe option hai. So answer is B. Very good. Okay. Fifth question. Do you know can you tell me the meaning of inert? I'll show you the passage. It is there. It's right there. Inert word ka meaning kya hai? This is why I taught you. We will send the recording and summary. Okay, don't worry. I've included these details so that you will get the summary in detail. Okay, lifeless and inactive. How did you get? Oh, inert meaning ka arth was inside the parenthesis, right? Yes. So sometimes look for what is inside the brackets. You might find the definition there itself. Now, Yeah. So now we have a lot of different difficult words like validated, inert, depleted, and ecosystem. Okay. So I'll send you the PDF so you'll understand. So this is what we did in Aaj ka class. We learned 4 strategies. Okay. We learned 4 strategies. First is example ka phrases. Okay, like for instance, such as, like. When I say the horses, rabbits, herbivores are animals such as rabbits, deers, etc. Such as is giving you more examples of the same category, that is of herbivores. Okay. Then we have dashes, commas, or brackets. Under mein there will be arth most of the time. Okay. Or that difficult word ka some extra information will be given in the brackets. Then we have contrast words or opposite meaning words there, like unlike, however, despite, but. So if you know the meaning, ulta karo. Then you have substitution ka method. Even if you don't know the answers, substitute एक option one by one. Okay, and signal words है, addition का words है, cause effect, कारण परिणाम का words है, contrast words है. So that you have to identify. Or skimming, scanning, those are reading ka strategies. Prerna ma'am, could you give a gist of this in Hindi, please? If you are there. Prerna ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you give a gist of this, if possible, in Hindi?
What do you want?
Can you give a gist of the last slide in Hindi for them? Can you please translate?
I didn't understand what.
Ma'am, could you if you can, could you translate this slide? What I just said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Translation. Okay. So, master sheet. Examples show meaning. So, what's this about, Will?
So, ma'am, I was saying the gist of the classes, the core, the framework of ideas. There are words like such as, like, for instance, etc. to show examples. And then there are dashes, commas, and brackets inside which meanings come. And then there are contrasting words like but, however, unlike. That is for opposite words.
Okay, so these are common words
Yeah.
we are using for. Okay. So मुलांनो, इथे आपल्याला शब्द दिलेली आहेत ज्याची मीनिंग्स आहेत, म्हणजे 2 अर्थ आहेत आपण जे रेग्युलर लाईफ मध्ये वापरत आहोत. जसं आपल्या स्क्रीनवर दिसत आहे, आय म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल, दॅट इज शोज अ मीनिंग. म्हणजे एक्झाम्पल आपण समजा दाखवायचं असेल तर आपल्याला हा उदाहरण दिलं जातं. आपण पहिला आयडियाज फ्रेमवर्क वर आहोत. तिथे डॅशेस मध्ये आपण देतो डी ब्रॅकेट डेफिनिशन. म्हणजे आपण डेफिनेशन असेल तर आपण कॅपिटल डी वापरतो. ई साठी म्हणून अपोजिट मिनिंग, तर त्यासाठी म्हणून अनलाईक, हाऊएव्हर. तर हे शब्द सांगण्यामागचं कारण हे की कधी कुठे प्रश्नामध्ये तुम्हाला इन शॉर्ट मध्ये काही दिलेलं असेल तर तुमच्या लक्षात राहावं यासाठी. मग आता बघा क्वेश्चन डिकोडिंग. तर यामध्ये असं म्हटलं आहे की सगळ्यात अगोदर तुम्हाला प्रश्न वाचायची असेल, जसं आता तुम्हाला या क्लासमध्ये इंग्लिश समजण्यासाठी त्रास जात आहे किंवा मॅमचं सेंटेन्स समजून घेण्यासाठी काही अडचण जात असेल, तर सगळ्यात अगोदर जो प्रश्न आहे त्याला हिंदीमध्ये तुमच्या भाषेमध्ये ट्रान्सलेट करून घ्या. दुसरा स्टेप आहे की काय नेमकं विचारलं आहे. म्हणजे ऍब्सोल्यूट ट्रॅप्स म्हणजे ऑलवेज किंवा नेव्हर. तर काय विचारलं आहे, तिसरी स्टेप आहे की कशावर तुम्हाला रिमार्क ठेवायचा आहे. त्यामध्ये म्हटलंय की सर्कल एक्सेप्ट नॉट ऑन पेपर. तर तुम्ही पेपरवर तुम्ही हे करू शकता किंवा तुम्ही आपल्या नोट, तुम्हाला एक पेपर मिळेल किंवा तुमच्याकडे पेन असेल त्यावर लिहून ठेवा की काय मला या प्रश्नामध्ये विचारलेलं आहे आणि मी काय करणार नाही. आणि 14 म्हणजे मॉडरेट वर्ड्स युजली करेक्ट आन्सर. म्हणजे तुम्ही आता उत्तर देताना कोणत्या पद्धतीने उत्तर देणार ते तुम्हाला पाहायचं आहे. आणि इथे बघा सिग्नल वर्ड्स मध्ये, तर यामध्ये कॉन्ट्रास्ट म्हणजे जवळपास संबंधित किंवा अपोजिट वर्ड्स मध्ये स्टॉप, स्लीप असं दिलेला आहे. एम्फसिस, इंडीड हा शब्द दिलेला आहे. हाय प्रायोरिटी आहे. तरी एम्फसिस म्हणजे काय आहे, तर त्यावर त्यांनी जोर दिलेला आहे. ऍडिशनल, ऍडिशन म्हणजे आपण काहीतरी ऍड करत आहोत. फर्दर मोर, समोर, परत अजून काही. ठीक आहे. त्यासारखंच कॉज इफेक्टिव्ह. तर कॉज म्हणजे त्याच्या मागची कारण, बिकॉज ऑफ, देअरफोर त्यामागची कारण, त्या कारणामुळे. म्हणजे प्रश्न विचार या स्लाइड मध्ये सांगण्याचा हा उद्देश आहे की प्रश्न नेमकं कसं समजून घ्यायचं. आपण इंग्लिशचे विद्यार्थी असल्यामुळे तुम्हाला समजून घ्यायचं आहे की सगळ्यात अगोदर प्रश्न काय आहे, त्यानंतर आपण उत्तर देऊ शकतो. म्हणून रीडिंग स्ट्रॅटेजीवर बघा सगळ्यांनी. तर यामध्ये काय म्हटलंय, सगळ्यात अगोदर प्रश्न वाचा. त्यामध्ये काय विचारलं आहे, फास्ट, लास्ट सेंटेन्स, फर्स्ट, लास्ट, नेमकं काय विचारलंय ते लक्षात घ्या. आणि मग त्या शब्दामधले कीवर्ड समजून तुम्हाला काय उत्तर द्यायचं आहे ते तुम्ही ठरवा. उत्तर देण्या अगोदर ठरवा. ठीक आहे. सो हा या स्लाइडचा अर्थ आहे. मॅम
Yes,
Rina.
ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes. So that's it for today's class. So I'll send you the PDF and translation. Hope you understand it better then. Thank you.